For weeks, I had sensed a shift in her behavior, subtle enough to dismiss if I wanted to, but persistent enough to gnaw at the corners of my mind. The late-night calls, the laughter that didn't reach her eyes, the small evasions whenever I asked where she'd been, all of it had been tucked away behind the comfortable routines of our life. I told myself not to worry, that perhaps she was just stressed, tired from work, or craving a bit of freedom. But deep down, something didn't feel right. That Friday night, I came home early, hoping to surprise her. I imagined the relief and warmth in her eyes when she saw me, the kind of moment we used to share without thought or pretense. The apartment smelled faintly of the dinner I had prepared, a simple pasta she loved, and the soft of the evening made everything seem perfect. I called her name lightly, stepping further inside, expecting her familiar smile to greet me. But the apartment was silent, too silent. A half-empty glass on the counter, a jacket tossed carelessly over the chair, and the faint scent of perfume, not hers, greeted me. My pulse quickened, but I told myself not to jump to conclusions. Maybe she had gone out with a friend. Maybe it was nothing. I flicked the light switch and froze. She stood there, eyes wide, lips parted in shock, holding nothing but the thin air of guilt that hung heavily around her. For a split second, the room seemed to shrink around me. I didn't speak. I didn't move. I just let the silence stretch, watching her squirm under the weight of her own choices. She had come home late, far later than she ever had, and the look on her face told me everything I needed to know. The smell, the subtle scent of another presence clinging faintly to her, confirmed the betrayal I had hoped wasn't real. I felt anger rise, not the hot, loud anger shouting and accusations, but a cold, deliberate anger that pressed down on my chest, the kind that sharpens every thought, every word, every memory we had shared. I wanted her to see the consequences of her actions without a single word from me, to feel the sting of having her choices laid bare before the person she had tried to deceive. She tried to speak, but her words faltered under my steady gaze. I let the silence do what my voice could not. Each second stretched long and deliberate, forcing her to confront the reality she had tried to hide. She had always prided herself on her charm, on her ability to navigate any situation without repercussions. But tonight, she was confronted not by strangers, not by friends, but by someone who had once loved her fully without hesitation, without doubt. Memories of our past flashed through my mind. The quiet mornings, the laughter that had once been effortless, the promises whispered late at night when the world was asleep. Each memory weighed on me now, not as a comfort, but as a reminder of what had been broken. She had traded those moments for a fleeting thrill, a one-night escape, thinking it would remain hidden, harmless, inconsequential. I stepped closer, deliberately slow, each movement measured to mirror the weight of the situation. She backed up slightly, realizing that the calm she had once known in my presence was gone. The warmth, the trust, the naive assumption that she could return to our life as if nothing had happened. All of that evaporated in a single, unspoken moment. Her eyes darted to the floor, to the side, anywhere but meeting mine. I didn't need her confession. I had already seen the truth in her hesitation, in the faint tremor of her hands, in the way she held herself as if bracing for an impact she had no idea how to survive. I could feel the tension in the air, thick and almost suffocating, but I stood firm, letting her guilt fill the space, letting her fully experience the consequences of the choices she had made. I thought about confronting her, about letting words fly like knives, slicing through the remnants of our life. But I realized that words, no matter how sharp, could never undo the betrayal, could never rewrite the hours and days she had spent deceiving me. Instead, I chose stillness. I chose the kind of calm that carries more weight than anger, the kind of silence that forces introspection without 1 ounce of theatrics. Finally, I broke the silence with a single, controlled statement. "You don't have to explain," I said softly, each word deliberate. "I see everything." Her lips quivered, a tear forming at the corner of her eye, and I knew that the moment had struck its mark. She wasn't shocked by my anger. She was shocked by my understanding, by my ability to see through the veil she had drawn around herself. The room had become a mirror, reflecting her actions back at her in their starkest, most undeniable form. And in that reflection, I felt something shift inside me, a release, a clarity I hadn't realized I was missing. The hurt, the betrayal, the deception, it all existed, but it no longer had the power to define me. I could choose what came next. I could choose dignity. I could choose silence. I could choose freedom from someone who had never truly valued me.